test that you are going to carry out is about the weight variation. Now, what is the importance of this test? Now, weight of the tablets is directly proportional, or it is directly going to affect the content of the tablet. Okay, if the weight of the tablet is less, then you can say, or you can predict, that the amount of active ingredient that is going inside the tablet is also maybe less. Okay, you cannot confirm it. That can be confirmed only with the content uniformity. But there is always a possibility. If you have 500 milligram, you have 1000 milligram of tablet, just for an example, or like the second example of 500 milligram of a tablet. So if you have a 500 milligram of a tablet, and out of that 500 milligram, 250 milligram is going to be the active ingredient. Now you find that the tablet weight is 400 milligram. So you can a little bit predict that now the active ingredient weight has also gone down from 250 milligram to 200 milligram. Am I right or not? Okay. So the weight of the tablet is also going to affect the amount of active ingredient that is present inside the tablet. Hence, we have to perform the weight variation test, right? So that is the importance of this test. Let us go to the methodology of the test, how you are going to carry out this test. In order to carry out this test, you are going to select any 20 tablets, right? You are going to weigh this tablet individually. So you are going to write down the weight of this 20 tablet, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You are going to write down the weight of this 20 tablets. And then you are going to determine the average weight of this 20 tablet. How you determine the average weight of this 20 tablet? You perform the summation of this. You add each one of this. So you add all of them. And after adding all of them, you are going to get some certain value. This value, when you divide it by 20, okay, when you divide it by 20, you are going to get the average weight. Am I clear up till now? Okay. Now what you are going to do is, you are going to compare the individual weight of this tablet, this weight that you have got, with the average weight. So you are going to compare each and every tablet weight with the average weight. And you are going to find out what is the difference, what is the percentage deviation of this individual tablet from the average tablet. Okay. The limit is that not more than two individual tablets, okay, not more than two individual weights deviate from the average weight. For example, this tablet is deviating in weight, fine. This tablet is deviating in weight, fine. The tablet passes. But if there are three tablets which are deviating in weight, okay, then you will see that the test has failed. Okay, right? In that case, what you are going to do is, you are going to adjust the machine. You are going to say whether the flow is proper or not, and all the things you are going to check. And not a single tablet should deviate by more than twice the percentage. So what is this percentage? We are talking about percentage deviation. Okay, what is this percentage deviation? Right? Let us see further. If you have not, if there is some questions that are coming to your mind, the further slides will clarify your question. Okay. Now, what are the standards that are given? We have seen that the limit is what? 2 tablet is the limit that has been given. That if 2 tablets are out of your are not complying with the standards, it is okay. If it is 3, then it is not allowed. That we have seen. What is that standard? As per IP, we are not going to see USP standards. Okay, we are not going to remember USP standards. Okay, from gate point of view, they are important. But why have I written the USP standards over here? Because those people who are referring Lachman, etc., for them it is going to be important, so that you don't confuse within the textbooks. Many textbooks are given different variation standards. Please remember, whatever I am giving you is the standard as per IP. So this is the photo that I have taken from IP, right? So you have to remember the standard as per IP. So what are the standards? If the average weight of tablet is 80 milligram or less, there are many tablets which are having small size, isn't it? Small size tablets. These small size tablets are going to have their average weight, which is going to be 80 milligram or less. In such case, the deviation that is allowed is 10%. What is the meaning of this? Let us assume that a tablet is having a weight of average weight of 70 milligram. This is the average weight of the tablet. You have weighed the tablet and you have found that the weight of the tablet is 69 milligram. That is the weight that you have seen. That the weight of your tablet is 69 milligram. Yeah.
Sir, there's a question. There's a doubt.
Your doubt will be. Let me finish with the whole thing. After weight variation, your doubt will be solved. I am just in middle of it. Okay. Now the weight of the tablet, average weight of the tablet is 70 milligram. Okay, and you have found that the weight of the tablet is 69 milligram. Okay, so what is the difference? Difference is going to be 70 minus 69. Okay, upon 70 into 100. So how much it is coming? Can you tell me? What is the difference? Can you tell me? Can you do the calculations? That is 1 divided by 70. Just doing this way, 1 divided by 70. Let me also do it. 1 divided by 70 is equals to, it comes to 1.42. So the deviation is 1.42. So if the deviation is 1.42, is it in between 10%? Is it in 10%? Yes, allowed deviation is 10% and your deviation is just 1.42. So what you will say? That this tablet is passing the test.
Yes.
Clear till here? So that is about the percentage deviation allowed in case of 80 milligram or less. Now, if the weight of the average weight of the tablet, now let us assume that the tablet earlier was a bit small. Now the tablet size has increased. Your tablet is of bigger size. It lies in between 80 milligram to 250 milligram. That is the average weight of the tablet. In this case, the percentage variation that is allowed is 7.1%. Okay. And if the average weight is still bigger, something like Combiflam, which is a bigger size tablet, in that case, the average weight may cross 250 milligram or more. In that case, the average weight that is allowed is, I'm very sorry over here, it should be 5% over here. Sorry, my mistake. Okay. So the deviation that is allowed is 5% and this should be also be 7.5%. So the deviation that are allowed is 10%. The deviation that are allowed are 7.5%. I will make the changes. Okay. And 5% depending upon the average weight of the tablet. If you see over here, uncoated and film coated tablet, this is the deviation, percentage deviation that is given in IP. So whether a tablet is an uncoated tablet or whether it is film coated tablet, it may be enteric coated, it may be unenteric coated. Okay. In that case, the percentage deviation, if the average weight is 80 milligram or less, the percentage deviation allowed is 10%. If it is between 80 milligram, more than 80 milligram, that is 81 to 250, then the percentage deviation allowed is 7.5%. And if it is 250 milligram or more, then the percentage deviation allowed is 5%. Now, my question to you is, what is the reason why this must be given as 10%, then 7.5% and 5%? Why it is given in this way? Why it is not standard that it should be 10% only, or it must be 5% only, or it should be 7% only? Why it depends upon the average weight of the tablet? Can anybody tell me fast? A difficult question, but if you can, if you're able to tell me.
Yeah, sir, can I tell the answer?
Yeah, please.
Sir, for 80 mg or less, the API is less. I mean, the drug quantity is less. Therefore, it is more concentrated. So, I think that if around 10% is also plus minus, then it affects the drug, but not in a huge way. So, if the
Who is this? Who is this?
second case,
Who is this?
I'm Suyash, sir.
Suyash, fantastic line of thinking, but आपने exactly opposite बोला. Fantastic line of thinking. Okay, I appreciate. If you have not referred the textbook and if you are telling this, then it is a fantastic. Most of the textbook don't mention this reason, but fantastic line of thinking. But exactly आपने थोड़ा सा opposite बोल दिया. Can you reframe your answer? Can you once again tell me the answer? You said if the tablet weight is 80 milligram, then what you said? Then what is the case? Then please repeat your answer.
Then there is obviously a higher concentration API, that is less quantities needed. Therefore,
there is a high concentration of API. Fantastic. Absolutely right. There is a high concentration of API. Why?
Sir, 80 mg, therefore, क्या बोलतात, smaller drug particle size, therefore more concentrated. I mean, less API is needed for the remedy, whatever we are going to.
No. I told you fantastic, but the answer was wrong actually. पण मी म्हटलं चला बघू तू पुढचा आन्सर काय देतो. Okay. Actually what happens is when it is 80 milligram, okay, it means what? The quantity of excipient is basically higher inside it. Okay, the quantity of excipient is very high inside it and the active ingredient is less. Okay, the active ingredient is so small that you add the excipient and you make up the quantity, still the quantity is just 80 milligram. Let me tell you with the higher example, then you will be understanding more. Just take an example of paracetamol, which is 500 milligram. Okay, and just take the example of ibuprofen, which is 150 milligram in your Combiflam. So how much excipient? Now the quantity of drug is very high. How much excipient you are going to add into this? You are going to add more or less? Suyesh, can you tell me how much you are going to add excipient? You are going to add excipient more or less? Less excipient you are going to add. Okay, it means what? When the quantity of active ingredient is more, okay, the quantity of excipient is less. In the similar manner, when the quantity of excipient is less, the active ingredient is less, the quantity of excipient is more. Okay, in this case, the quantity of excipient was more. In this case, the quantity of excipient, in this case, the quantity of excipient was less. In this case, the quantity of excipient is okay. And in this case, quantity of excipient is more. As the quantity of excipient is more, that's why this 10% allowable limit is given. So what you are trying to say, 10%, agar there is a variation of 10%, then the 10% variation may be because of the excipient variation. Are you understanding? Whereas when here there is a variation of 5%, this variation is going to be the drug excipient, drug variation. So if I allow a 10% variation over here, then I am allowing more, basically the 10% variation in the active ingredient, which is very, very high. Are you understanding? Are you understanding this? So what I am allowing is the more deviation, which is not good. You cannot allow set 10% deviation for active ingredient. That is why when the quantity is 80 milligram, the amount of drug is less over here, the amount of excipient is more over here. So we are allowing 10% deviation because we feel that the 10% deviation actually is the deviation of the excipient, okay, and not of the drug. यहाँ पे हम बोलते हैं कि drug होगा maybe 10 milligram, okay, and the excipient may be of near about 70 milligram. So we are adding more of fillers over here in order to make up the volume. Okay, are you getting me? That's why is when you say 10% ka 10% deviation, okay, it just come to 0.1 milligram of drug. But whereas if I take 650 milligram and if I allow over here 10% deviation, then it comes to near about 65 milligram. Are you understanding? So the deviation has gone to 65 milligram in this case, whereas the deviation has gone only, if it is a 10 milligram of a drug, it is only 1 milligram. Are you understanding? So that is the difference. Here it was just 1 milligram after 10% of deviation, whereas with 5% of deviation, it has gone to near about how much? 65 into divided by say 6.5, 6.5, near about 33 milligram. Okay, just with 5% deviation also. So that is the reason why, as the amount of active ingredient, as the average weight increases, the percentage deviation allowed is decreased. Okay, so that is the reason for your this table. Okay, I hope you have got it. Yeah, let us study the USP standards. USP standards are, if it is 130 milligrams or less, then the percentage deviation is 10%. If it is 130 milligram to 324 milligram, it is 7.5%. Again, I have made a mistake over here. I don't know. It is a topographical mistake. Okay. Then if it is 320 milligram, more than 325 milligram, 324 milligram, that is 325 milligram and above. If that is the case, okay, then the percentage variation allowed is 5%. Okay. So these are the weight variation standards as per USP and IP. If you are reading Lachman, then in Lachman, these are the standards that are given. Okay. But what you have to remember is, as per your syllabus, you have to remember the IP standards, which is 80 milligram or less, 81 to 250 milligram, or 250 milligram, 250 milligram and above. Okay. So these are the standards. This is 7.5 and this is 5%. Okay. This is in case of tablets. In case of capsule, what are the standards? If the average weight is less than 300 milligram, then the percentage deviation allowed is 10%. If the average weight is 300 milligrams or more, then the percentage deviation allowed is 7.5%. For powders for parenteral use, the deviation is, if it is more than 40 milligrams, then the deviation allowed is 10%. For pastries and suppositories, the weight allowed is 5%. Okay. The main thing that you have to remember, okay, for this this practical is regarding the IP standards. That is these standards that you have to remember. Okay. Any problem up till here? If not, then I will explain this chart that you have to use in your further case study that I am going to give you. Any problem up till here? Because you have to solve a case study. Yeah, Sanjana said that I am a bit confused. We can also determine weight variation from friability test. No. Friability test is after tumbling of tablets. Okay. There also you consider average weight, Sanjana, but this has nothing to do with friability test. Okay. Friability test is totally very different. Here you are not going to tumble the tablets. You are not going to use the Roche friability. Okay. That you are not going to do. Okay, Sanjana. I hope your answer is clear. Has everybody understood this up till now? Clear? Okay. Most of them are saying clear. So let me move ahead. Anybody who has not understood, please do write down. Don't write down if you have understood. Don't write down anything in the chat box if you have understood. If you have not understood, then you write down. Okay. No reply, it means you have understood everything. Now, how you are going to prepare the table in practical? So you are going to write down the tablet numbers 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 up till 20. Then you are going to write down the average of then you are going to write the weight of each tablet that you are going to weigh on the weighing machine. So you are going to take one tablet, you are going to put on the weighing machine, you are going to write down the weight over here. Okay. Then you are going to take the second tablet, then you are going to write down the weight over here. You are going to weigh on weighing machine. Third tablet, fourth tablet, fifth tablet, sixth tablet, up till 20 tablet, you are going to write down the weight. And then you are going to do the summation of the weight. And then you are going to find out the average weight. That is summation upon 20. So if you do summation upon 20, you will get the average weight that you are going to write down over here. Now you have to remember one thing. This is how you do in practical. In industry, many a time the average weight is already been decided. You know the weight of active ingredient. You know the weight of excipient. Okay, that should go in one tablet. So you can just determine the total weight. So that total weight, supposing it is 700, supposing it is 501 milligram. Okay, you know. So you will decide the average weight as 501 milligram. In that case, you need not do this calculation. okay, and find out the average weight, because you know that 501 milligram, this weight I require from each and every tablet, because the formula is very fixed, right? Got it? If not, supposing if you are doing in practical, then you are going to find out the average weight, and that you are going to write down over here. Don't get confused, just I am telling you what can happen in industry, that also I am trying to tell you. So these are the first two steps that you have done. You have written 1 to 20, you have written the weight of each tablet in milligram, you have found out the average weight. Now what you are going to do is you are going to subtract this weight from this weight, okay, and you are going to write down the difference, okay. This difference will be, some will be negative, okay, and some will be positive in nature, okay. So some will be negative and some will be positive. Supposing 11:9 would be the ratio, or it may be 10:10, or it may be, say, if it is an average weight, then this is going to happen, because some have to be negative, some have to be positive, then only you are going to get this average weight, okay. So 8:12, okay, or 11:9 or 10:10, these are the positive and negative that you are going to get. You have to exclude the sign, this sign you have to exclude positive and negative, and you have to find out the percentage difference. Percentage difference is what? Average weight subtracted by your individual weight of the tablet, okay, divided by the average weight into 100, and then you are going to write down the percentage variation. For example, here it is 1%, here it is 2%, here the deviation is 3%, here the deviation is 5%, here the deviation is 12%, here the deviation is 15%, here the deviation is 7%, here the deviation is 4%, and here the deviation is again 9%. Now, and further now over here you are going to write down which tablet has failed and which has passed. Can somebody tell me which tablet has failed and which has passed over here? Anybody in the chat box, can you tell me which of the tablets over here has failed in these numbers? Which of the tablets they have failed and which are passed? I'll just modify these figures. One minute. This is 10% and this is 7%. Now you tell me which are the tablets which have failed, and this is also 7%. This is 7%. So you have to tell me which of the tablets have failed and which are passed. Can you tell me? Yes or no? Fast. Can you tell me which tablets have failed or which tablets have passed? In chat box write down. Can you tell me or not by this data? No. Positive negatives are going to happen, Suresh. You are not going to get the exact weight because this is an average weight. So your answer is incorrect, Suresh. Each and every tablet is either going to be positive or it is going to be negative. There are some tablets which are not going to be positive and negative. Can you tell me or not? Just tell me, are you able to, with this data, are you able to tell me how many tablets have failed and how many tablets have passed? Jivika said yes. So tell me which tablets have failed. Jivika, open your mic and tell me which tablets have failed. Fast.
So it depends on what is the average weight. If the average weight has
Perfectly. So from this data, you won't be able to tell unless and until I give you the average weight of the tablet. If I say the average weight is 50 milligram of the tablet, which is less than 80 milligram, then you will say that this tablet has failed, this tablet has failed, this tablet has failed. Okay. No, sorry. This has, these three tablets have failed. This tablet has failed. Okay. Then you are going to say me that. Okay. Right? Are you understanding? No, sorry. I'm very sorry. Let us say this is 12 milligram. Okay. So if your average weight is 50 milligram. Okay. Then you will say that this tablet has failed. Okay. Because the percentage deviation is allowed. This 7% percentage deviation is allowed. This 7% deviation is allowed. This 9% deviation is allowed. Because the percentage deviation that is allowed is near about how much? 10% percentage deviation is allowed because it is 80 milligram and less. If I say this tablet has an average weight of 150 milligram, so it lies in the category between 81, that is 80 to, what was the category? 80 to 240. So it lies between this category. So it is lying between this category. So the percentage deviation allowed is 7.5%. Right? So 7.5% is allowed. Uske upar is not allowed. So this again tablet, it is failing. Supposing I say that this tablet is 750 milligram is the average weight, then this is also failing. Your this tablet is also failing. Your this tablet is also failing because this tablet is also failing because the percentage deviation allowed for 750 milligram is just 5%. Am I clear? Are you able to understand? Is there anybody who has not got it? Okay. So now what I am going to write on further, I am going to see what is the difference over here and I am going to compare it with the standards. Okay. And then I am going to write down over here whether the tablet is passing or whether the tablet is failing. Whether the tablet is passing. So pass, pass, pass. Okay. This tablet supposing fails. For all these 20 tablets I am going to do. Pass, pass. So only now 2 tablets are failing. So I will say that the weight variation test has passed. There was a 3rd tablet which has also failed. Okay. Then I will say that the weight variation test, the total test has failed. Got it? Understood? Let us take a case study. Okay. Now, you are a production supervisor and while performing the IPQC test, the weight variation test, the IPQC weight variation test, you find that there are 20 tablets. Okay. And the weight in milligram was 560, 574, 568, 600, 523, 560, 569, 572 and so on and so forth. These are the weight of 20 tablets. Now, what are your observations? You have to tell me. Okay, you have to, for this what you have to do is you have to prepare this chart, the earlier chart weight. So here you are going to write down all the weights of these 20 tablets. Then you are going to, you are going to write down first 1 to 20, you are going to write down all the weights over here. You are going to find out the total weight over here. You are going to add all these weights, so you will get the total weight over here. Then you are going to divide it and you are going to find out the average weight. Each average weight you are going to subtract with the, this weight of the tablet. And you are going to find out the difference. Okay. And then you are going to find out the percentage difference. So the difference divided by the average weight is going to give you the, into 100 is going to give you the percentage difference. And depending upon the average weight of the tablet, you know the standard. That standard you are going to compare with the percentage deviation. And you have to write down whether the tablet has passed or failed. And then finally, what you have to do is, you have to see what are your observations. And then you have to give some suggestions to your machine operator. So what are the suggestions that you are going to give to him that you have to write down with the help of the calculation? This you can do with the help of your Excel sheet also. I don't have any problem. So just take the Excel sheet. If you are you have been taught about Excel in your first year, so use your Excel sheet and you can write down this. You can prepare this table also. I don't have any problem. Within 5 minutes you will be able to prepare this table. Okay. Yeah.
Sir.
Yes. Ask me.
Sir, Ved is telling that he didn't understood. So can you repeat again?
1 minute. Let me see the chat. Okay. He has not understood about the average weight. Okay. Weight. Now what we are going to do is we are going to write down this 20 tablets and we are going to write down the weight of each tablet. Okay, as you see over here, this is the observation. You are weighing each tablet. So when you are a production supervisor and you are weighing each tablet. So first tablet you have found at 560 weight. The second tablet you have found as 574 weight. And these are the weights that you have got. You are not going to get the exact weight. Please remember. Okay, it is always going to range. So that's why I have given this range to you. Okay, if your machine is very nicely prepared, your granules are very nicely prepared, then you may get the constant weight. प्लीज रिमेंबर इतना ज्यादा भी वेरिएशन नहीं आता. मैंने आपको जानबूझ के ये एग्जांपल दिया हुआ है. Okay, so that you are able to find out. But these are the weights you have to find out. How you are going to find out the average weight? You are going to add 560, 574, 568, 600. You are going to add all these numbers. Okay, so you'll get the total of this. This total when you divide by 20, you get an average. जैसे आप average निकालते हो किसी भी चीज का. Okay, in the similar manner you have to find out the average. Wait, is it okay? Is your problem solved? Okay, good, fine. Now, this is the second case study that I have given you, where I have given you 20 tablets and with these weights. And the third case study, I have given you 20 tablets with these weights. Okay. So you have to, I will put this on your, what you call that, on your group. Okay. And you have to solve this and you have to submit this assignment by tomorrow morning 8 a.m. Okay, by that time you have to submit this assignment. You can use calculators, you can use Excel sheet, etc. It is very easy on the Excel sheet, etc. It will be very easy for you to prepare. It will hardly take 15 to 20 minutes to do these calculations, right? This is about the weight variation test. I'll just go through the weight variation test once again. The weight variation test, here the methodology is you take 20 tablets, you weigh them individually, you find out the average weight of the tablet and you compare the individual tablet with the average weight of the tablet. Okay, the limits that are given are that no two tablets should be deviating from the percentage deviation that is given. What is the percentage deviation given? As per IP, the percentage deviation given is, if it is 80 milligram and less, then the percentage deviation allowed is 10%. If it is between 80 milligram to 250 milligram, the percentage deviation allowed is 7.5%. If it is above 250 milligram, then the percentage deviation allowed is 5%. In case of USP, the standards that are given are 130 milligram or less, 10%. 130 to 324 milligram, it is 7.5%, and more than 325 milligram, it is going to be 5%. Okay, so these are the deviations that have been allowed. I told you how you have to prepare the chart in your practical. This is the table that you have to prepare in your practical. Okay, and I have given you an assignment on your weight variation, which you have to solve by tomorrow by 8 a.m. and you have to submit.